Chairman. Thank you for coming back, Secretary Chu. Those of us at the end of the list appreciate it very much. As you know, the United States is blessed with huge coal reserves. And I note with some interest that as technologies become available, that coal to gas, coal liquefaction, I think is becoming more affordable in the world marketplace. And in fact, South Africa gets just about a third of its gasoline from coal to oil processes. And in fact, the President, when he was a senator, on 2 different occasions introduced legislation to do just that. So I guess my question is, what do you see the Department of Energy doing to help get coal to liquids to play a vital and additional role in the supply of gasoline in the United States?
Well, first, we agree the United States is blessed with great fossil fuel resources. And we are looking at the potential for both coal to liquid and gas to liquid. The issue, and we want to support research that would enable it. The issue is a high capital cost. The plants are very, very complex. And when I talk to the oil companies, you know, Shell, ExxonMobil, and Arco, they uniformly say that the very high capital cost is a problem. Now, having said that, we also, of course, want to do this in a way that not only does it in an economic, even without capturing the carbon, it's less marginal, and we would actually like to capture the carbon and help it enhance oil recovery and other utilization. But ultimately, we also need to capture the carbon.
Absolutely, and in that regard, these bills that the President put in, particularly the one in 2006, was actually a loan guarantee program. And I'm just wondering if any of the loan guarantees that you all did as part of the stimulus helped to defray any of the capital costs for any companies that might be looking to take coal and turn it into gas.
I think the one I know, there's a few still going forward. Their gasification and the use of the carbon dioxide, again, in enhanced oil recovery. I think Southern has a project that's going forward on that.
You know, you all have indicated that what was happening in the Chinese market, both your administration and you have indicated what was happening in the Chinese market was not anticipated in 2009 when the loan guarantee was done. One of the questions I've always had, Secretary Chu, is that was known, based on the way I heard your testimony over the course of the last year, that was actually known, though, by late 2010 and certainly by February of 2011. And so that calls into question, if you knew what was happening in the Chinese market and that the price was so low that Solyndra couldn't manufacture its product for the price that the Chinese were selling their product for, why the subordination?
You're absolutely right. Certainly by 2011, late 2010, we did know that Solyndra was in deep trouble. That there was, by then the price was...
But you also knew that the Chinese market had basically made them, you may not agree, but it had made their products cheaper than Solyndra could produce their product. They could sell the Chinese could sell their product for less than Solyndra could produce their product for. Isn't that correct?
It is correct that we knew that Solyndra was in deep, deep trouble and there was a chance of bankruptcy. And when we came time to decide how to do this, it was a judgment call on whether the loan was for a project.
And I know that you have said that before, and I respect you. But that being said, isn't it a fact that in late 2010 and certainly by February of 2011, when the subordination was signed off on, when you look at the price of what the Chinese were able to sell their product at and the price of what Solyndra was able to produce their product at, the Chinese could sell cheaper than Solyndra could produce. Isn't that a fact?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And I would also ask you in that same vein, different aisle maybe of the church, Chairman Upton and Stearns recently sent you a letter on the loan program for Prologis. I hope I'm saying that right. And Solyndra was to be the supplier for the first phase of that project, but then Solyndra went bankrupt. Why did DOE feel, knowing what they knew, why did DOE feel comfortable including Solyndra in the first phase as the first phase supplier for Prologis at a time when you knew they were about to fold, or knew that they were in serious danger of folding, even with the first subordination. But I know you were hoping that there would be the second August subordination from outside money coming in. But why did you go forward with Prologis and say, look, this ought to be your supplier?
Well, first, we were uncomfortable with Solyndra being a supplier, quite frankly, and Prologis had a very small. The initial one was Solyndra, but I was saying I believe the Prologis business model was a very good one. I was very supportive of that loan, but I was nervous if Solyndra weren't there. Now that Prologis should line up a plan B.
All right. I thank you, and I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.